I, Dr. Jitesh Shinde, welcomes you to my channel Learning Made Easy. This is my fourth session related to binary code. The topics to be covered in this session related to binary codes are alphanumeric code, error detection and error correcting code. In my previous session related to binary code, I have covered the following classification of binary code: weighted code and non-weighted code, and reflective code. Example of that reflective code was gray code. Let's see today in this session alphanumeric code, which is used to represent both alphabetic and numeric data, followed by error detection and error correcting codes. Alphanumeric codes. Why we need alphanumeric codes? We can use the binary codes consisting of zeros and one symbol to represent any data. But if I want to represent an ASCII character, say L, if I want to represent an ASCII character, say L, it will be consisting of combination of zeros and 1 of 7 bits. Okay. Whatever the application or the system we are designing, our main goal is to optimize the human effort involved in running that particular application or the system. So, as a human being, he/she may not be interested in pressing the key of zeros and 1 7 times to get 7 representation. To minimize this effort, alphanumeric code came into existence. From this example, it is clear that, or we can say that, what alphanumeric codes can be used to represent the alphabets from capital A to capital Z. It can be used to represent the alphanumeric code can be used to represent the alphabets from capital A to capital Z. Also, it can be used to represent the alphabet in small letter form from small letter A to small letter Z. In addition to this, alphanumeric codes are also used to represent the numeric data from 0 to 9. In addition to this, it is also used to represent some special symbols which you generally find in your keyboard. For example, star symbol or the asterisk symbol, say dollar symbol and other such special characters. So, what is the main application of alphanumeric code? So, from this discussion we can conclude that the alphanumeric codes, okay, to minimize the human effort, okay, the alphanumeric code came into existence. It is used to represent, it can represent the alphabets, 26 alphabet in capital letter form, 26 alphabets in small letter form, as well as numeric data from 0 to 9, in addition to special symbols like asterisk, dollar, ampersand, so on. So, let us see what is really the alphanumeric code, okay, given in slide. Need. A binary digit or a bit can represent only two symbols as it has only two states, 0 or 1. But this is not enough for communication between two computers, because there we need many more symbols for communication. Just now I had explained this point with respect to example, with the help of example. These symbols are required to represent 26 alphabets with capital and small letters, numbers from 0 to 9, punctuation mark and other symbols. The alphanumeric codes are also called as character codes. The character codes are the codes that represent numbers, alphabetic characters, special characters or symbols. An alphanumeric code should represent at least 26 lower alphabets, 26 uppercase alphabets, 10 numeric digits, 0 to 9 and about 25 special characters. Example: plus, minus, hash, so on. Thus, how many characters alphanumeric code can represent? It can represent total 87 characters. To represent 87 characters with some type of binary code, okay, to represent 87 characters, how many binary bits required? Okay, so 2 to the power 7 means, okay, say for example 2 to the power 6 calculations comes out to be a 64, okay. I cannot use 6 bits to represent 87 characters because it is having just 64 combination. How many combination we want? 87. So 2 to the power 7. The answer is coming out to be 128. Okay. So for this reason, okay, it has been specified that to represent 87 characters, how many binary bits are required? 7 bits. Okay. That is 2 to the power 7 is equal to 128 combination. The keyboard of your laptop or desktop is an example of the alphanumeric code. Okay, it is based on alphanumeric code. Now let's see the types of alphanumeric code. Now, first type, American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Okay, the laptop of your keyboard or a desktop or in other application generally is based on this ASCII format. Okay, it is a 7-bit code. Another type of alphanumeric code is Extended Binary Coded Decimal Interchange Code, EBCDIC. It is an 8-bit code. It is an 8-bit code. ASCII is a 7-bit code. EBCDIC, Extended Binary Coded Decimal Interchange Code, is a 8-bit code. Here 8th bit, that is the MSB bit, is used to test for the errors and it is referred as parity bit. What is the concept of parity bit? We shall be seeing in the next slide. Okay, but at this moment just remember that in ABCDIC, MSB bit, that is 8th bit, represents the parity bit. This bit can be set to 1 or 0 so that the number of ones bit is either even or odd. Another type of alphanumeric code is 5-bit baudit code. Okay, this example illustrates the application of ASCII alphanumeric code or the ASCII keyboard. Okay, deployed in a simple calculator system. Okay, the input being provided to the processor, okay, is via keyboard, and the keyboard works on the in the keyboard. Which code is being used? Which type of alphanumeric code is being used? It is ASCII representation. Okay, inside first thing, the ASCII format is converted into BCD format. The processor operates on that binary coded data. After processing the data, again it converts back into ASCII format and it is being displayed on the output device, which can be a printer or a 7-segment display device. Okay, in the calculator you will be generally seeing some type of a display device. Okay, moving further. Now next topic, error detection and error correcting code. Just now in the previous slide we have seen that in EBCDIC code, MSB bit is used for the error detection. That explanation, okay, the answer for it will be getting in this topic, error detection and error correcting code. Now, error definition in digital system. What is error? How the error occurs? Error is a condition when the output information does not match with the input information. Okay, if the transmitted data is say 1011 and the received data is say 1010, received data is 1010. Now in this case, transmitted data is not equal to received data. Okay, so here we can conclude that the error has occurred during the transmission. Okay, the reasons for the error can be noise. Okay, it can be coming, it may be inherently present in the circuitry or it may come from the other sources as well. Okay, so let's see the need for error detection and correction code. If a digital system uses a BCD code for a data representation, and if due to noise an error occurs in the LSB position, just now with the example I had illustrated. Now if due to a noise error occurs in the LSB position of the data, say 0011, the resulting data will be 0010. Okay, so comparing the transmitted data and the received data, okay, in the LSB position, here in this bit the error has occurred, here in this bit the error has occurred. Now 0011 is a valid BCD code, 0010 is also valid BCD code. Okay, so the device at the receiver end may not be able to detect whether the received code is a valid one or not. Then how we can rectify the error? We can rectify using error detection code. To avoid such errors, okay, so this from this example, okay, it creates a necessity that we need some type of a mechanism which can detect the error, also how it can rectify that particular error as well. So for this reason, we are studying error detection and error correcting codes. Error detection code. Whenever the message is transmitted, it may get scrambled by the noise. Okay, the noise may be inherently present in the circuitry, or it may occur due to some type of a crosstalk. In the process, the data transmitted may get corrupted. To avoid this, the use of error detecting codes in which an additional data are added to given digital message to help us to detect if an error has occurred during the transmission of the message. Example of error detecting code is the parity check. Let's study how the parity check method can be used as an error detection technique. For example, suppose the data to be transmitted is 1011. Okay, we are using say even parity check method. Even parity check method. Okay, so here parity implies that how many ones are present in the code. Parity means the count of ones. If the count of ones is even, okay, here in even parity check method, okay, how many ones are there? 3. Okay, so if we are using even, so I will be appending here 0. Okay, sorry. Even parity check method we are going. Okay, data transmitted say 1011. Now how many ones here are? 3. Okay, the number of ones here are odd. We want to make the parity to be even, so 1 extra needs to be appended here. Okay, so this is our transmitted data. Okay, now at the receiver side, the device is knowing that the received data will be having even parity. Suppose the received data is 1010 at the MSB1. The device at the receiver end will compute the parity on the received data. Now how many ones here are there? Here are only 3 ones, means here the parity is coming out to be odd. Okay, so receiver was knowing that the received data should be having even parity. Okay, but on the calculation what it is getting, the count of 1 is odd. So device will say that will detect that an error has occurred. So it will request the transmitter to resend the data. Okay, one more example, say the data to be transmitted is say 1010. In this, how many ones are present? There are just 2 ones present. Parity is even. So at the MSB, 0 will be appended here. In the previous example, in this first example, count of ones was 3. To make the parity even, 1 was appended at the MSB bit. So the parity of the resultant data becomes even. In the second example, data to be transmitted is 1010. The count of 1 here is even. So at the MSB, the data to be transmitted is having even parity, even number of ones. Okay, so 0 is being appended here. For example, now here the received data is say suppose 0 1 0 1 0. Now here in this case the received data is equal to transmitted data. So no error has occurred. So the receiver will not request the transmitter to resend the data. But on the other hand, if the received data say for example is 0 1 0 1 1. Now on the computation of the parity, the receiver will know that the parity is coming out to be odd. So in this case the receiver will request the transmitter to resend the data because an error has occurred during the transmission. Okay. This is the concept about even parity. What is the drawback of even parity? Let's see. Okay. Third example, to explain the drawback of even parity, say 0, 1, 0, previous example I am only taking, and say for example the received data here in this case is 0, 0, 1, 1, 0. Okay. Now here in this case, okay, how many bits are changed here in the received data? 0 and 1. In first and second example, only one bit was changing. Okay. Here in this example, 2 bits are being changed. Here in this example, 2 bits are being changed. So on the computation of the parity on the received data, okay, even parity scheme we are using here, okay, to detect the error. So number of ones here is even. Okay. So again here the parity is getting very even. So receiver will predict that no error has occurred during the transmission. But actually on looking at the data, we are knowing that an error has occurred in the transmission at this bit location as well as at this bit location. So from this example here, we can conclude that if more than one bit are changing, then even parity scheme cannot be used to detect the error. If more than one bits are changing, even parity scheme cannot be used to detect the error at the receiver side. Okay. So limitation, it can be used only to detect the error only up to 1 bit. Similar concept, okay, applies to with respect to odd parity scheme. Okay, odd parity scheme. Okay, here in this case, say the data transmitted is 1011, 1010. Okay, now here in odd parity scheme, the target is that the parity of the data to be transmitted, should be odd. Now how many ones are here? 2. We need to make the parity odd. So 1 1 will get appended here. Okay. At the receiver side, same process repeats again. Say the data transmitted received is say 1 1 0 1 1. At the receiver side, device will compute the parity of the received data. Now how many ones here are coming? 4. Here 4 ones are coming. So parity obtained is even. Okay. The parity expected was to be odd. So receiver will detect the error and will request the transmitter to resend the data again. Okay. Similar to even parity scheme, this odd parity scheme can detect the error only up to 1 bit. If more than 1 bit goes in error, the odd parity scheme will fail. Okay. Now here if the data to be transmitted is say 1 0 0. Okay. So what bit we need to append here at the MSB? Count of 1 here is 1, odd. So already the transmitted data is having odd parity, so 0 needs to be appended at the MSB. Okay, this is the logic. Okay, whether 0 should be appended or 1 should be appended. If count of 1 even, then 1 needs to be appended to the transmitted data, so the resultant parity should become odd. If the resultant data is already having odd parity as in this example, and in that case 0 needs to be appended. So let's see what's given in slide. So error detection code, parity check. In this error detection method, a parity bit is added to the message bit, just now explained, then transmitted along with the parity bit by transmitting section. At the receiving end, parity is checked by the receiving section. If there is a discrepancy, then the data received is erroneous, else the received data is correct. Subtypes of parity check method: even parity check and odd parity check. Count of ones in the message along with the parity bit in even parity check method must be even. In odd parity check, the count of 1 in the message along with the parity bit must be odd. Okay, already just now I had explained this concept. This is the example related to the parity check method. Okay, the parity computation can be implemented in hardware by using exclusive OR gate, by using XOR gate. Okay, This shall be the topic of our discussion in our upcoming session what is XOR gate. Okay, but just remember that for parity check method, which gate is being used? XOR gate is being used. Okay, drawback, it is capable of detecting the error only up to 1 bit. To overcome this drawback, Hamming code error detection method is being used. Error correcting code, although along with the error detecting code, additional data is also added to figure out the original message from the corrupt message that we received. Such type of code is called an error correcting code. Error correcting code detects the location of the corrupt bit and rectifies from 0 to 1 or from 1 to 0 to get the original message. Example, Hamming code. Okay. Thus, here we can say that Hamming code can be used not only to detect the error occurred during the transmission, but it can also be used to rectify the error occurred during the transmission. Okay. So, example of error correcting code is Hamming code. Thank you.